Okay, hello. Welcome to a first impressions on a long overdue palette, the Blend Bunny Lure palette. I didn't pick this up when it first launched, and then were they having a sale or something? Actually, no, I picked this up when I bought the two blush palettes from Blend Bunny. And I knew that one day I would get my hands on the Lure palette because you know how much I love Blend Bunny's formula, just as much as everyone else does, and I love this color story. I'm so happy that they are continuing with this format and layout of their palettes because I adore it and I love them, and these shimmers in this look so beautiful. I have not swatched it yet, so let's do a little swatchy swatch together, do some live swatches, and then we'll do a little look. Let's see. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit. We'll see if I can end up actually fitting all of these shadows on one arm. They're 24, so probably not, but I'm gonna swatch it in rose, and that's how it's gonna be. Okay, so the first shade, let me move my mirror back so I can see what I'm actually doing. Okay, the first shade is the shade Pearl, which kind of feels multi-chromatic, or at least duochromatic. It's a pink and kind of like gold green shade. I feel like it has all three of those colors in it, and it's really beautiful, really sparkly, very nice. Then the shade Folklore is a really beautiful like seafoam shade. Charmed is a purple metallic with almost like a blue shine to it. Then In a Bottle is a absolutely beautiful light blue. Oops. Give this a second swatch. That's so pretty. Sailor's Delight is a like rosy shade with like silver sparkle. And the last shimmer is the shade Bioluminescent, which is a really beautiful like indigo shimmer with like, it's like an indigo base with like almost, it's like a blue purple shade with like a really beautiful blue shine. All of these shimmers are so beautiful. Pearl is definitely the most piecey, but they're all really sparkly. They've stepped up their shimmer game so much since their first palette, or their first palette with shimmers in it. Then the second row is mattes, while the rest of the palette is mattes. So this shade is the shade Storm Ahead, which is a like really light dusty mauve. Seafoam is aptly named. It's a light seafoam shade. And Jellyfish is a light, kind of like violet purple. Then we have Lost at Sea, which is a light blue, like pastel blue. Baited is a light pink. And Catch Me is a really, again, another light blue, a little bit less green. Lost at Sea has more green to it and is a little bit lighter as well. Okay, let's see if I can do the next 6 shades. So we have Pirate's Life. I love this shade name. This is a neutral brown. Mermaid Lagoon is a really like kind of like true mid-toned green. And then Seductress is a, again, like just deeper violet purple. Has like more pink to it than a traditional like true purple, I guess. Sea Nymph is so pretty. It's such a beautiful like teal, super bright. Booty is a hot pink. Love that. And Explore is an indigo. It's like, well, it's like a blue, but it has like an indigo-ness to it. Well, maybe it just looks more indigo in the pen. It's like a navy, mid-tone navy blue. Okay, so these are the first 3 rows, and I will scooch over and do the last row on my other arm. Okay, so first up in the last row is the shade Black Sea, which is a matte black. I'm always happy to have a matte black in my palette. Uncharted is a deep green, like a forest green. Tentacles is a darker purple. 332 meters is a dark teal. X marks the spot is a like kind of fuchsia, like deeper fuchsia shade that actually swatches deeper than I thought it was going to, which is always a good thing. And then the deep is a deep indigo shade. All right, so this is the palette swatched out. I love this color story so much. I cannot wait to dig into it. Swatching wise, they all feel really nice, but we'll see obviously how it goes. So I'm going to show you some up close swatches and eye swatches, and then I will show you a little look. Okay, hello, welcome to the eye swatch portion of this palette. First impressions on the Blend Bunny Lure palette. So starting off with the shimmers, I'm going to start with Pearl. I'll say this spiel as I prime my eyes. I'm priming with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer. It's a little bit tacky, but not like super tacky, and it doesn't have any type of color to it. For shimmers, which you will see, I first start with the shimmers dry, then I will wet my brush, and then I will go in with my finger. That's all she wrote. Okay, so like I said, starting with Pearl, there are no shade descriptions on Blend Bunny's website, so it's just up to me. This is a pink, green, kind of gold light shadow with not a ton of a base, almost like a bluey iridescent type of base. Now I'm going to spray my brush. This is just with water. This is a really creamy, flaky shade. So I think a glitter glue is probably going to be your best bet, or a finger, which I'm going to do now. Yeah, it just helps the shadow stick down a little bit more. It's really pretty though. If you can hear my washing machine, I apologize. Next up is the shade Folklore, which is a like seafoam shade. And then I'm going to use a wet brush. This is definitely more opaque, still really sparkly, but more opaque and a little less textured than Pearl. And then my finger, really beautiful, almost has like a gold sparkle to it. So this is Pearl and this is Folklore. Okay, next up is the shade Charmed. This is a warm toned purple with silver sparkle. Okay, spraying this. And then with my finger. All of these shades are very creamy. This is one of the more creamier to the touch ones. And then we have the shade In a Bottle, which is another seafoam green, a little bit, well, seafoamy shade, but this is more blue. And then with a wet brush, and then my finger. As you can see as well, this is a little bit more sparkly and a little bit more piecey when you compare it to Charmed. So this is Charmed and this is Folklore. Or no, this is In a Bottle, sorry. Okay, next up is the shade Sailor's Delight, which is a rosy shade with silver sparkles. a wet brush. This is also really sparkly, but not quite as piecey as some of the other shades, like loose. And then my finger. So beautiful. And then last but definitely not least is the shade Bioluminescent. This is like an indigo shimmer, has like an indigo base with like a greenish blue shine. It's super beautiful. Wetting this now, going in with a wet brush. This is one of the more like piecey shimmers. And then with my finger, but super pretty and super shiny. So pretty. So this is Sailor's Delight and this is Bioluminescent. Okay, now onto the mattes and onto the second row. This... The first shade we have is the shade Storm Ahead, which is like a gray purple, a light gray purple. This is gorgeous. It's like a lavender, a dusty gray lavender. It's so pretty. Then we have the shade Seafoam, which is a seafoam color. Okay, this is again super pretty. I don't think I have a shade that's like this, that's this like opaque and bright, like this bright of a seafoam. It's so beautiful. If it looks patchy, it's because I can't see any areas. Sometimes it looks patchy on camera, but in person it looks super opaque and super beautiful. So we have Storm Ahead and Seafoam. Okay, next up is the shade Jellyfish. This is a warm toned, like violet shade. God, look how opaque and beautiful the shade is. So nice. Then we have the shade Lost at Sea, which is a light blue with a touch of green. Okay, so this I think is gonna look a little bit patchy just based on what I'm seeing in person. It's still like relatively opaque, but it's just a little bit patchier than like this shade, for example. But still nice in my opinion. I could imagine that these would be hard. These pastel shades would be hard to make like super opaque. But that's just, it is what it is. It was nice when I used it to blend. So this is Jellyfish and this is Lost at Okay, next up we have the shade Baited, which is a light pink. Okay, so this is Baited. Looks pretty opaque to me. It's kind of hard to tell on my skin tone, but it's just like a really nice light cool toned pink. And then the last shade in the second row is the shade Catch Me, which is a light blue. Okay, and this is the shade Catch Me. Of the two light blues in the palette, I feel like this one is slightly better than the shade Lost at Sea. So this is Baited and this is Catch Me. Okay, moving on to the third row. The next shade to do is the shade Pirate's Life, which is a neutral brown. This is, again, super nice, super opaque, and I love the depth of it. And then we have the shade Mermaid Lagoon, which is almost, it's pretty like a neutral green, I would say. That's a really nice like neutral like grass green. So we have Pirate's Life and Mermaid Lagoon. Okay, so next up we have the shade Seductress, which is a mid-toned warm purple. That's super beautiful. I really, really love this shade of purple. And then we have the shade Sea Nymph, which I'm very excited to swatch. I'm really drawn to this color. It's like a bright teal. Beautiful. I love this color. I like these two colors together as well. So this is Seductress and this is Sea Nymph. Okay, last two shades in this row. We have first Booty, which is a hot pink. Oh, that is a beautiful pink. As a connoisseur of pink eyeshadow, delicious. And then the last shade in this row is the shade Explore, which is a navy blue. Okay, I feel like this took a little bit of building up to get fully opaque, but otherwise I think it's quite a nice blue. Nothing super exciting, it's kind of just like a navy blue, but still nice. So this is Booty and this is Explore. Okay, so next up is the last row. We have the shade Black Sea, which is a matte black. Gorgeous. A really nice matte black. And then we have the shade Uncharted, which is a deep green. So opaque and super pretty. Love that. So we have Black Sea and Uncharted. Then we have the shade Tentacles, which is a purple. I mean, look at that gorgeous purple. So pretty. And then the shade 332 meters, which is a deep teal. And again, really opaque, really pretty. So this is Tentacles and this is 332 meters. Okay, and last two shades. We have first up X Marks the Spot, which is a really nice deep pink. Love this shade. I can never get enough shades like this. And then last but not least, we have the shade The Deep, which is a beautiful deep indigo. And again, beautiful. I really, really like this shade. Okay, so the last two shades are X Marks the Spot and The Deep. And this concludes the eye swatching portion of this video. Okay, so my plan is to do a halo eye with this blue row here and then this sea foamy row. I don't know why, I really just am really drawn to these two columns. And I'm really still in my teal era. I have loving teals, so I want to continue with that. So first I'm going to take the shade The Deep, which is this really beautiful like indigo shade. I've primed my eyes with the Fenty Beauty eyeshadow primer and I have not set my lid, so they're slightly tacky. And I'm going to stamp this on the outer like third, I guess, of my lid and bring it a little bit into my crease as well. I feel like with this palette there might be some overlap, but I think there's actually probably less overlap than I think. There might be more overlap with the blends, but I'm not really sure because I don't have that palette. I keep meaning to, every time they have like a new launch, I'm like, oh, we'll end up getting the blends with that order, and then I just never do. But maybe this time, because they're launching their new Pretty and Grunge or something palette, and I might get it with that palette, but we'll see. Okay, so now I'm going to take the shade 332 meters, which I love the name of that. I'm not sure the significance, but if you know, do let me know. And place this on the inner part of my eye. Again, just stamping it. So far, so good. Gorgeous! Okay, now I'm going to take the shade Explore and use this to blend out the shade The Deep. Oh, they killed him! Okay, and I'm going to take the shade Sea Nymph, which is probably the shade that I'm most excited for in this palette. It's like what my eye is first drawn to. I'm going to blend out the shade 332 meters. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of 332 meters because it's a little bit lighter. I just need them to blend a little bit together. Like The Deep and Explore are a little bit closer. Oops, wrong shade. A little bit closer in depth. So I just want to blend 332 meters into Sea Nymph a little bit more. Just go a little bit more back and forth. And then you're going to be shocked, but I'm going to take the shade Catch Me and blend out the outer part of my eye. And then take Lost at Sea and blend out the front part. Just look at that blendy blend. So beautiful. With no effort at all. I was gonna put black on my inner and outer corners first, but I've already squeezed NYX glitter primer out into my brush. So I'm going to put some NYX glitter primer all over the center of my lid. And then I'm going to take the shade Bioluminescent on the outer part of my lid and the shade In a Bottle in the front part. So starting with Bioluminescent, putting this in the outer part. Oh, Blend Bunny really have made a comeback with their shimmers. That is for sure. This is so pretty. And then just wiping that brush off a little bit and taking In a Bottle and putting this in the front part. And then blend Bioluminescent and In a Bottle just into each other back and forth. Again, they don't really need it, but I'll do it anyway. Oh, I'm loving this eye. I'm loving this eye so much. Okay, I'm just gonna blend The Deep into the shade Bioluminescent and just blend it a little bit around eye. The same thing with 332 meters. And then take each of the mid-tone shades, so Explore and Sea Nymph, and just blend them a little bit over the edges again. Just do one final blend. And then the same thing with the very lightest shades. Okay, now I'm going to take the shade Black Sea, the matte black. You can see that right here. And then put that in the very outer and inner corners or parts of my eye. Okay, and then I'm going to take Bioluminescent and In a Bottle on my fingers. Just pick this up a little bit more. They still feel very creamy and very wet, like Blend Bunny shimmers do. And then I'm just going to intensify these on my lid and also gently tap them on the inner and outer corners of my eyes, like over the black. Again, as I typically do with halo eyes, I don't want it to be necessarily like super opaque. Just want like a sprinkling of sparkle. And then I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on my lower lash line that I did in my top lash line. Like do the exact same thing in terms of shadows, order, all that kind of thing. I'm going to hop off camera, do highlight and blush, and then I'll probably just do my lower lash line off camera because it's going to be the exact same thing that I already did. Yeah. Okay, so I did my highlight and blush. I used all Blend Bunny products, the Noctilucent highlighting palette and the Bare Cheeks face palette. And now, I obviously did my lower lash line. Now I'm going to take, I really want to use this shade Pearl. And I want to take this and just see how it's going to look, dabbing it right in the center. Interesting. I guess it's not like super light. But I don't know, I kind of like it. So something a little bit, add a little bit of interest, make it a little bit more mermaidy. I do feel like this look is really encapsulating the theme of the palette. And then I'll take that also on the center of my lower lash line. I haven't been in like the best mood, but this really, really boosted my mood in a big way. And then let's see how this will work on my brow bone. Oh yeah, not too bad. I mean, it's pretty extra anyway, so a little extra brow bone highlight really won't hurt. Okay, I am so into this. I'm going to hop off camera, finish up the rest of my face, and show you the finished look. Okay, and this is the finished look. Hopefully I'm in the center of the shot. But on my lips I have Makeup Forever Endless Cacao, Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Endless Cacao, and ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Ashton. And this is new to me, the Maybelline Ultimate Color Sensational Matte Lipstick in the shade More Sepia. It was on sale at Shoppers today, so I bought it. And I have to say, I like the color, especially paired with these lip liners. I can see myself using this a lot. I just wish that drugstore brands would come out with like more neutral colors when they release lip lines, because I feel like this is the only, like this and a couple others are the only like neutral colors, and the rest are like reds or hot pinks. I don't know. I just feel like let's have a more wider variety of shades. Like, how many bright reds do we need? But anyway, that's coming from someone who doesn't wear red lipstick a lot, so maybe that's not a widely shared opinion. But anyway, that's actually also not the point. not the point of this video. This palette I love. I mean, the shades that I used today were stunning and performed exactly as I know Blend Bunny quality to be. I know I've heard one or two people say that this palette wasn't like the regular Blend Bunny quality, but I haven't found that at all. I love it. I have had no issues with it. I love this look. I feel like it is very mermaid, very appropriate for this palette. I feel like it kind of even looks like the cover of the palette, and I'm so excited to have it. I'm so happy that I finally got around to filming this video, and now I can put this palette on my shelf with the rest of my Blend Bunny palettes. Forever and always a Blend Bunny stan, and this palette is no exception. Let me know if you bought this palette, if you're thinking of buying this palette. Thank you so much for watching, and I would love to see you in my next video. Bye.